Quite often when you're reading a file, you have a single delimiter, such as a comma, which makes it easy to split up lines and look at things. You can even use built-in libraries to do that as well. But sometimes you have multiple delimiters. For example, I have this file right here, and we'll go ahead and open this with Notepad++, and you can see that there are a couple of delimiters. Between this PID and your name, there are pipe symbols. And then right here, you have a bunch of key value pairs, which are separated by commas. And not only that, but these key value pairs aren't always having the same number of keys and values. So there's 3 key value pairs here, 2 here, 3 here, 2, 2. So the question is, how do you parse this and read it into a file? So let's go ahead and just copy one of these lines right here, and we'll go ahead and move it out of the way, and we'll go ahead and write a program that will read this into, read it. So I'll go parser. Now, there's lots of ways to do this, but we're going to go ahead and use the split command to do that. So I will go ahead and edit that with Notepad++, and let's just paste this line in there so we know what we're working with. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the file favorites as a regular file name. So file name equals favorites.txt, and I want to put each person into an array or into a list, and basically I'm going to have all their favorites as a dictionary with key value pairs so we can look things up. So the list, I can decide what my index for that for the dictionary is, or maybe I'll actually put into multiple lists as well as a dictionary for lookups. All right. So first of all, I need to open the file and start reading it. So I'll do a file handle equals open the file name, and I'm going to do it as read only. After that, I'm going to obviously close it eventually. So then in between these two pieces, I'm going to read each line. So while true, do a line equals file handle read line. If not line, break. So that will read in each of the lines one at a time. Next, I'm going to clean the lines and eliminate things I don't care about. So if line 0 is space, so that means it starts with a space or it's a new line, then I'm going to just go ahead and jump to the next line. So continue. And if my line 0 is a hash mark, then I will assume it's a comment, and I will continue as well. Continue. There we go. I want to remove the new lines at the end, so line equals line replace /n with nothing. And while I'm at it, I might as well just go ahead and replace any return characters, which shouldn't show up, but they do show up sometimes when you have mixed operating systems involved. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and parse the line. So there's two parts. There is the pipe delimited section, so I can have a number, a name, and then a list of favorites. So I split it into 3 pieces. I'll have those 3 pieces. Now then the list of favorites is delimited by commas, and then on each one there is a key and a value pair delimited by the equal sign. So I'll go ahead and do each one of those. So I'll do parts equals line split on the pipe symbol. And then I'll say that the PID equals parts 0. My name equals parts 1. And my favorite equals parts 2. From this point, I can split my parts, or split the favorites into different parts as well. So, split out favorites. So, I will take this favorites and split it as well. So, my F parts for favorite parts equals favorites split on the comma. And then I've got a list of favorite parts, but the question is, how many do I have? We don't know, so we can go through each one and do for F pair in F parts. I now have a key value, and I can just split it up as a key and value, and because I know exactly what they're supposed to be, or I could do some kind of just split it into some array and then look at each part. So I'm just going to split it into key value pairs. So key value equals F pair split on the equal sign. Now that I've got them split, I can go ahead and put them somewhere. This is where I need to decide where are things going. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to have a data dictionary. And so I'll just make a data dictionary right there. And this I'm going to use to index everything. But I also want to have a list of keys into that data dictionary that I can then later split or, sort or whatever I want with it. So maybe I'll do PIDs and make a list. I could do all kinds of things with that, but we'll just work with that for now. All right. So now where do I save these things? Well, first of all, I need to know things like what's the PID and what's this name and where does it go. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and save some stuff. So I will save, or maybe I'll create my dictionary for the person and save the PID. All right. So what I'm going to do here is put my PID into the PIDs list. And I'm going to do it a different way just so you know how to do it. I'm going to do if not PID in PIDs. That means that if the PID doesn't exist in this PIDs list, then I'm going to go ahead and add it. Now remember, this is a string. If you wanted to convert it into a number, you could, but then you'd have to make sure you verify it and make sure the numbers are not same thing as strings. So PIDs append PID. So I'll put this PID into this PIDs list. Next, I'm going to create a person data dictionary. And I'm going to say that person data, and I'm going to create a PID key equals my PID. What that does is it takes this dictionary and says that if I want to look up a PID, I use the PID key and the PID value is going to be stored in there. I'll make another one. And this one is for my name. And my name equals my name. Alright, so the name key now returns or has name. All right. Then I need to have a list of favorites. Now, I could do it different ways, but I'm going to go ahead and just put them all in there as individual key value pairs. This could be messy. For example, if I have a value in that key value pair where it says, PID equals something, it could overwrite it, but we're just going to go ahead and do that anyway. So person, or we could add down a dictionary inside of it for favorites. That's actually safer probably. So maybe we'll do that. So I'll go here and I'll say person data favorites equals a dictionary. All right, so now that will be a little safer. Now we have these key value pairs, and we're going to put each of my favorites in there into that favorites dictionary. So I'll take this one right here, this one right here, copy that, and paste it here. And then inside of this favorites dictionary, I'm going to take my key and equal my value. So this entire parsing thing now looks pretty complex, but it does help us quite a bit. So let's go ahead and take a break from this and display what we have for this person data. We actually need to put that person data into our data, but we'll go ahead and do that right now. Data, and we'll do it in PID index equals person data. Okay, so we're taking this dictionary and we're putting it inside of this data dictionary using the PID key so we can look it up. I think that's good. So we got our data, PIDs. All right, now I'm just going to do a couple of print statements here so you can see where we're at. So I got PIDs, which will list my PIDs, and then I'll print my data, which will display the dictionary, which contains dictionaries, which contain dictionaries. So I'll save that, and we will go ahead and run this from the command line. So we'll do parser.py. And you can see it prints out first the list of PIDs, and then we can see this dictionary, which contains dictionaries, which contain dictionaries. So you can see that for dictionary for entry 1, we've got a bit of information here. Basically, it says that the PID is 1, the name is Alice, and favorites is a dictionary right here, which includes these favorites. Car is Ford, number is 1, and fruit is kiwi. Now, if you wanted to display everyone's favorite car, for example, you could do that. But not everyone has a favorite car, so we need to be able to check to see if there is a key for something. So let's go back into our code, and we will do just that. So we'll leave these print statements in there just to make things fun. And we'll loop through the list. For PID in PIDs, so that's going to go through each one. We're going to find the person data, and we want to figure out if they, what their name and their favorite car is. So name equals data, and we have to return it based on the PID, and we want to get their name. Okay. And then if we want to figure out their favorite car, we're going to go ahead and initialize car as none, because we don't actually know if they have a car. And then we're going to do a check. So if car in data with our PID, and then favorites, and then in our favorites, we want to look for the car. And so we're looking for car. So if car is in there, then our car variable is going to be set to this stuff right here. Paste that with our car retrieved. Otherwise, it reports some kind of error. So now I'm going to print out each person name with their car. So print the %s for the name and do a tab /t, and then we'll do a %s for the car. And we'll pass it in the name and the car. And if I did everything correctly, this should just print out all the names with their favorite cars and the word none if they don't have a favorite car. So we'll save that, and we'll go ahead and run it. So run parser, and you can see that Alice's favorite car is Ford, Bob is Mazda, Charles is Kia, Dave is none, and Eve is none because they didn't have anything. So this should help you with parsing lines and then later retrieving data from a dictionary with dictionaries inside of it. Hope you like this. I hope it helps you parse data and get information out of files.